Hey guys, welcome back. And the vehicle that we are going to review today is the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. This is the E220D. Here is the LED DRL strips right here, and this is the all LED headlamp. As written here, LED high performance, Mercedes-Benz logo on this chrome plate right here. Another light straight up. Let's open the hood. So this is powered by a 6-cylinder that puts out around 190 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. And of course this is a very long hood with the Mercedes-Benz logo right here. And here are the front parking sensors. As you can see, those dots on the four corners of the vehicle. This is the key. So Mercedes updated their key, I think around 2017. So they've moved on from their old school key fob style keys and they've moved on to this more rectangular shape that feels good on the hand. This pays a bit of a resemblance between both. And now this strangely does not get the keyless go or keyless entry. Sorry, it does get the keyless go, but it doesn't get the keyless entry. As you can see, I lock the vehicle. Now it's locked. And as you can see, if I put my hand in here and pull, nothing happens. So this does not get keyless entry, but it does get keyless go. And for the boot opening, if I press and hold, the boot opens. And the tailgate is, I guess, electric, but there are no controls mounted here. As you can see, there is a blank spot right here which is supposed to get the electric tailgate closing, but it did not. Mercedes gives you a spare wheel, which is actually not a full-size spare wheel. And here is the warning triangle. Now let's try closing it with the key. If I press and hold, does it close? No, it doesn't, because it isn't fully electric. It is just the opening that is actually electric. And the backlights are also similar to that of the E-Class and the S-Class. So of course the S-Class has been updated in this year. That was in the previous year, launched in 2021. So that is also a big update. And left side as well as the right side seats of the E-Class get reclining function. As you can see, the controls are right here. And I'll just start the vehicle and hop in to show it to you in just a second. So now we're in the back seat of the E-Class, and this is supremely comfortable, supremely luxurious. As you can see, a wood finish right here. Here are the control buttons for the rear seat, and I can say they are adjustable and highly adjustable. You can also have 3 memory settings. So for both the sides, for both the co-passenger sides, you can have the memory function. As you can see, it does get the ambient lights, and here is a separate climate control for the rear seat passengers, so you can turn it on as you please. And this also has the soft door closing option given right here. Climate control vents here also. Here is a mirror, vanity mirror with a light, and this gets the dual pane panoramic sunroof. First pane is right there, second pane is here, and they get separate blindfolds, and there is such a great bit of luxury right here. And I think this is where Mercedes always exceeds BMW, and that is in luxury. BMW may outperform Mercedes on the track, but when someone is traveling in a Mercedes, they get better luxury as compared to BMWs. As you can see, this right here, this pillow is so soft, it just cushions your head around and it feels really nice. I can literally doze off here. And this also has electrically powered headrest. So as you can see, I can control it from here, and turning this button right here, you can move the front seat forward, and this is a class leading feature that is also not present in the 5 Series, that is its direct competitor. Really nice seat pocket that is okayishly spacious, not too good. cup holders right here that are exposed. Door pockets are also nice. So I'm just gonna move the co-passenger seat backwards. As you can see, I'm doing it from this control right here. This is a control that is specific to the left passenger only, and I do not know why that is, but still it does get the function. So let me just make it to how it was. Yeah, moving on. And the center armrest does opens. As you can see, you open the center armrest, and now you're traveling first class in a Mercedes E-Class. So this is the baby S-Class, as you can see, as you can call it, because it gets many features that are very, very class apart as compared to the competitors. Although this is actually in another world as compared to the 5 Series. I said it again, I'm gonna say it again. The 5 Series may feel better to drive behind the wheel, but if you're sitting on the back seat, this is miles better than the 5 Series. And I'm gonna say it again, this is better than the 5 Series if you're going to be chauffeur driven. This is absolutely plain to drive behind the wheel. This seems way too similar from the C-Class. This and the C-Class are actually really same when you drive it, but if you're on the back seat, this feels miles and miles apart from the 5 Series. This feels like a proper armrest. As you can see, nothing that makes you feel strange. This is like a proper armrest for the back passengers, and this is there is a beautiful stitching going on over here. And also one more thing, you can control the rear, this sunshade right here. Just closed it. We get 4 controls right here. You press the second one and you can close this, that is the sunroof. And then you have this window button. You press it up once more. Let me just show it again. For example, if I were to push down the window, I press this, the windows go down. Okay, I press it up once again, the window goes up, and I press it once more and this sunshade goes up. So now I am actually in a cocoon of luxury. And also you can control the right side windows right from the left side. So if I were to close the sunshade for the right passenger, I can close it from this place right here. And the passenger on the right side also get the same controls as on the left side. Okay, but only the front seat controls are specific to the left hand passenger. Now we're gonna hop into the front passenger seat and check it out. Okay, I didn't put the front passenger seat in the right place, and now I'm stuffed inside this. Let me just push it back. Yeah, so I'll just demonstrate the soft closing doors. But here is the interior. As I said, I do not get the fully digital instrument cluster. I get it in the 2019 model. This is from 2018. So in 2018 you had this, the odometer plus a middle multi-information display. But this right here, this is the real deal. Straightly taken out from an S-Class. As you can see, this is very similar to the S-Class. These climate controls are also similar to the S-Class. So in many ways this actually resembles the S-Class. This, I do not know why it doesn't get blind spot monitoring, which should be standard, I guess, of course, in all cars, because it, I remember, saved me a lot of times when I was actually going to bump into the left hand side, but it saved me. So yeah, and let's talk about the storage spaces. There is one storage space right here, another one inside the center armrest, plus charging sockets. As you can see, there's USB sockets for charging. This does get Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. And here is the glove box, which is fairly decent in size. And actually I do not feel any hard plastic on the body of the vehicle whatsoever. As you can see, everything is soft to the touch. This is wood right here, which feels very luxurious. And if you go further down too, this stitching pattern continues all the way to your legs. How crazy is that? wood right here. Same Mercedes controls as the C-Class, sorry. Nothing new. Only thing new is that you get different controls here. I'll just come to them when I am on the driver's seat. But this is fairly Mercedes normal, nothing new. Same controls, same drive modes. As you can see, this gets 5 driving modes: individual, sport plus, comfort, eco, right there. And this is the dynamic select, eco, comfort. Let's pop into sport plus. As you can see, you can set the engine tone to sport, the steering wheel feel to sport. Just a second, it went off. And the what the fuck, where did it went? Yeah, back at it, sport. So you can set the ESP to sport plus. As you can see, I am changing the modes and the vehicle is actually changing its growl. The vehicle's sound is actually changing. The engine tone is also changing when I'm changing these modes. I'm to sport. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but I can feel it inside the cabin. And individual is, of course, you can set your own tones, or you can set it to adapt drive. If I go into drive, you can see eco, sport plus, manual. You can change the gears. That is for the gear. If you go into manual, you'll have to use the paddle shifters that are really abysmal and small, not good on the hands whatsoever, but you can set them. Steering, you can set the steering wheel feel and feedback to sport or comfort. ESP, that is the way your car handles on the road, the grip that it has on the road. In other vehicle, it is known as traction control. In it, I do not know why they say ESP. And engine data, I can have engine data on this screen right here. I can see how much power I'm consuming, how much torque. And yeah, correction, this does not get 400 Newton meters of torque. This gets 500 Newton meters of torque. So we're just gonna go into menu for the climate controls. Yeah, and I'll just demonstrate the soft closing doors. So how soft closing works is, for example, just see, if I were to just do this, the vehicle will pull the door inside on itself. Just a second. As you can see, just till here, and the door is pulled inside. Same on all 4 doors. See, the door is pulled inside. So this is a really nice feature. Let me just hop on into the driver's seat. And the driver's seat has railway adjustable seats. Same right here on the door handles, as opposed to BMW on their seat, below their seat. And I think this is a much more convenient place. It is just that I am very used to BMWs that I get confused. Here is the electronic parking brake down here. This is the electronic parking brake. These are the light controls. As you can see, the ambient lighting going on over here. Door unlock and lock button is given right here. Seat controls. This I'm actually not, yeah, I just figured it out. This right here, if you tap on this button, you can actually control the left co-passenger seat. As you can see, I'm controlling it from this button right here. So the left hand passenger doesn't get any say in how he wants to be seated. The driver and the left side passenger can always alter his position. Here is the engine start stop button. So at night you can see this ring around the start stop button glows red, so that looks really sporty and nice. And and these controls right here are actually new. This is actually a trackpad that you can use to control the menus. As you can see, I'm sliding my finger, and to select, just press it down. Let me just go into home. So yeah, I'm in home. If I have to, just a second, yeah, I'm in home. If I have to just say go into connect, I just tap it and I go into connect. I can access the browser, Mercedes-Benz apps, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. And this right here is to control this MMI right here, multi information display, that stands for I can have my fuel range, consumption, kilometers driven, speed from the last reset, from the last start, blah blah blah, everything right here. Volume controls, call controls, voice assistant is right here. Let me just try and say engine data. Yeah, so I have the engine data right here. My engine oil level, battery, sorry, what is that? The battery charge right here, the horsepower, the torque, everything on this single screen. There is a really big subwoofer right here on this side, and there is a line that was similar as I last saw on the Audi A6 that goes from here, and all the way till that side. That looks really nice. And to close the AC vents, you have this classy little button right here. So you just rotate this and these air vents go blank. This is the cruise control, and you can still have many controls right here. As you can see, this is the front parking sensor on this display screen right here. Now the display screen is so small, but still this is very customizable. I think BMW should learn from them. I can have my navigation controls also on this side, direction of travel, previous destinations, and radio, media, telephone. Everything is on this small screen right here. Everything that you can actually imagine. You can have your service information also right here. And these gear lever is very similar to the previous Mercedes. Press the brake, put it down, you're into drive. One time up, neutral, full down, full up, sorry, you're in reverse. And the reverse parking cameras activate. This gets the front as well as back parking camera plus sensors. Those are the parking sensors. Press it down right here, you're into park. And to access the parking sensors or the parking camera, just press this button right here. You have the parking cameras. As you can see, this is a wide angle view of the back, this is a normal view, and these are the, this is the side parking sensor right here. As you can see, this is the sensor, and these are the cameras. And if you want to turn them off, just press this and they're off. Press this button right here and they're on. This is to control the display screen. You press this and it turns off. Press it again, it turns on. This is the volume control, Mercedes-Benz logo when it powers up. Press this and the rear sunshade goes down, as it can be observed. Press this button right here once and the dual pane sunroof opens. As you can see, the second pane also opened. Press it once more and the sunroof actually opens up. It opens halfway. Just nah, it won't open anymore. This just opens halfway. Okay, and I guess I've gone through everything, and it is time to take this vehicle out on the road and check it out. Yeah, so we're driving the E220D and straight up buckling the seat belt. These are actually electronic, so they push you into place when you wear them. Just put it into reverse, and this is the parking camera and the reverse camera, and the reverse camera has a really nice quality, as you can observe. I'm just going to put it into wide angle and drive. So straight up, I'm gonna drive into comfort and start driving. But it will gradually change into sport or sport plus. But straight up, I'm going to demonstrate how it will feel to drive the vehicle on normal roads as a normal person would. And the hood is actually really long, so when you parking on the front, if there are actually no parking sensors, you have to look with your head up, and as you're driving you can see the Mercedes-Benz 3-pointed star right on the hood, and it feels really nice to look at it because it gives you a sense of pride. And straight up, the car is very refined, nothing that is too jerky or anything else. It feels nice to drive, very comfortable. And this also has the parking assistant, so it will look for a place to park. I just have to turn it on. Just a second, there it is. Parking assist, as you can see, activate parking assist. Press the button to start, So you'll have the parking assistant right here. Let me just slow down the vehicle, but there's no use since we're not in a closed space, so the car will park itself on the road. So now the car is relatively easy to drive. The steering wheel is not on the really light side, but is actually light enough and has really nice feel and feedback and is very precise. So I actually know what I'm doing when I'm driving the vehicle, and you can manually control the gears as you please on any given moment at any given mode. So I'm in comfort, but if I press this once, I can control the gears, and when I floor it, this gives me a feedback, but that feedback is not good enough because it's actually into comfort. So I'm just gonna go right back on the road, take a U-turn and put the vehicle into sport and try launching the vehicle, because I suppose it will give me a really nice wheel spin. So we're just gonna park here. Sorry, not park, stop here, put the vehicle into Sport Plus. Yeah, I'm Sport Plus. Left foot on the brake, right foot should be on the accelerator. 2000 RPM. And there is quite a lot of wheel spin. And the gear shifts in Sport Plus are actually miles apart as compared to comfort, because I can feel the jerk that comes on me right when I'm changing the gear. It jerks you into place so that you know you shifted a gear. I'll just try launching again in manual mode. So we'll stop here. We're in M1. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Not that much of a wheel spin, I guess the ESP controlled it, but rightfully, if I'm in the sports mode and it was shifting automatically, there was a lot of wheel spin. When I was shifting manually, it actually controlled the wheel spin, so it didn't give me the full power, it restricted it, and that is what the ESP is for, to take control in slippery situations as it did just now. But driving this straight up, I do not think you will need to take things in your own hands. The power band of the vehicle is actually really nicely distributed, so you get even power at all RPMs. There are no dead zones in the vehicle even below 2000 RPM. This does give you enough and adequate power to actually overtake or do whatever you're going to do without actually using the paddle shifters. So the use of paddle shifters is minimal in this vehicle because there is actually no turbo lag below 2000 RPM. So I guess the peak torque happens at around 3000 RPM. So when you reach that point, you actually are consuming the maximum RPM, sorry, the maximum torque that the vehicle can output. And the speaker quality, if you're talking about it, then the speaker quality is also really nice. This sadly doesn't get the Burmester speaker system. That is, I think, an absolute necessity and is also an option in the E-Class, but I suppose the owner didn't bother enough, or he's not a petrol head enough to actually opt for the option. But it is what it is. The speakers do, however, sound really nice. They have a really nice punch and create a surround sound experience. And the horn on this is loud and authoritarian. And as you can see, the overtake that I just did was effortless. I didn't feel a single thing. I didn't need to use both of my hands because I was confident enough. And since we're in sport, the steering wheel has actually tightened up a bit, and the throttle response, as you can observe, has also increased. The throttle response is actually now more on the stronger side as opposed to that in comfort. And in kickdown, if I were to demonstrate, so let me just tell you what is actually kickdown. Kickdown is when you're dropping gears and accelerating. So for example, if I am right now in 4th gear, so kickdown I guess is properly done when you're in comfort, because the car has to be in its natural habitat, not in its sporty one. So I'm right now in 5, so if I were to push down into 3, so yeah, this is actually what is kickdown acceleration. Now in comfort, this is really simple, nothing too jerky or to push you or thrust you in the seat like, but right now I'm Sport Plus, and yeah, kick down into 3, and yeah, this is much better and feels much better on your hands, because it thrusts you into the seat. And as I said, the headrests are actually electronic for the back passengers. For the front passengers, the headrests are actually not electronic, so you'll have to, let me just put it into the right words, you'll have to do it on your own from these buttons right here. There is also a Carl Benz signature logo right there on the front windshield, which looks nice and elegant. This vehicle is actually not for the person who's looking to drive like a maniac or is actually going to drive the vehicle a lot. This is for the chauffeur driven guy, and I suppose if you're in your 25 to 35, you're actually not going to ever sit on the back seat. And if you are actually going for this vehicle, I'd say go for the 5 Series. If you're into the driving dynamics, if you're into comfort, then this is the best in class, no doubt. Better than the A6, better than the 5 Series, and better than the S60 Volvo. This is class apart, largely due to the backseat experience, not much due to the driving experience, because the driving experience is really simple, but the backseat experience is actually mind-blowing. And yeah, as I said, there are many essential features that you do get on lower variant cars, like blind spot monitoring, keyless entry, which are actually not present on this vehicle, and I do not know the reason as to why that is. But these brands, I do not know why they do cost cutting on the essential features and give you features that you're actually never gonna use. So what is the point in that? I believe that you should have features that you're actually going to use every day, as opposed to features that are really gimmicky and you're not going to use them in your day-to-day life. For example, parking assistant. Who's going to use parking assistant all time? Because in India, as our conditions are opposed, if you're not going to park in just 5 seconds, the rear guy gets bonkers and keeps honking at you. So the parking assistant actually takes around 30 seconds to find a spot for you. So that is, I think, a waste of money and waste of resources. Better to give features that are actually gonna be used, as opposed to these dumb features that are actually not going to be used by anyone. The placement of the gear lever is very natural, and you can do them right in a second if you actually end up getting the hang of it. Because I'm so much used to the gear lever being present on the center control stack right here that I did fumble around for a bit, but since I got the hang of it, this is really nice as opposed to being here. So this vehicle was actually lent to me by Car Peddler Lucknow and is actually on sale at their store here in Lucknow. So if you actually like the vehicle, you can contact them or visit their showroom to take a better look at it. Or if you're interested in buying, because this is an excellent condition car and I'm saying it to you as a reviewer, I'm not on their side. I went there to review the vehicle, not sell it. So when I saw the condition, I was actually surprised, because this is in absolutely new condition. Nothing is broken or scratched up, everything works. So if you're interested, go hit them up. I'll leave their Instagram link in my bio. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and see you in the next one.